Hi, my name's Jeff Rhodes, and this is another video on Microsoft 365. And based on my book, Creating Business Applications with Microsoft 365, which you can get on Amazon or other spots. So we can scroll down here and see how it's doing this week. It's not too bad. I'm not sure why it's listed in Microsoft C and C++ Windows programming, but you never know. But let's get over to what we wanted to talk about today. This was really based on comments from my last video, which you can see the name there, so I'll put a link to it, where you use Power Automate to send reminder emails. And I had a great comment here about what to do if we want to escalate the next email so that, you know, the first time we send it to the user, next time we send it to the manager. And I put some notes in the comments, but thought it was worth maybe see if we could tackle that in a video as well. So that's what we're going to do. So let's jump into it. So if you did have a chance to see that last video, we had a SharePoint list. We've got the course title, first name and last name. And I should really mention, I didn't really do it in that video. If you're doing this in a corporate or educational environment where everybody's inside your tenant so that you know, you can email them directly, I would replace all three of these with a person column so that you can reference, you have their department and all that. You don't need to store separately their first name, last name, and email. In my case, I've just got a small business edition, so to send all these different emails, I've got to actually split those out separately. So we'll continue on that. But the idea was that we've got a choice column here that says this completion status, and everybody who's incomplete and in this training course, then we want to send them an email. And then do it every 7 days. So the idea is we write this date in here, and then we put in some notes also. So let's try to expand that. So I like to use kind of the old school list settings. So I'll do it here. And I'm just going to create some columns. So I'm just going to mirror what I did for the individual and do it for the manager. So I'm just going to use, for the first three, single text column. So we'll say manager, first name, single line of text, manager last name, manager email, and manager, see, I used that when I was playing around, manager date notified, and I'll make that date time there. And let's go in and we put this in edit mode, and we'll put on. The only ones we really care about are the ones that are, oh, I need to, that's interesting, it didn't update my view. So let's edit the view, make sure these get added so I can, oh, it does say it did it. Just let's see if it takes it now. Guess it had to refresh. There we go. So let's go into edit grid. And we'll say, okay, for this one, we'll just go Beatles today. So we'll go Paul McCartney. And I'll just use one of my emails. So I'll use my Gmail. All right, next one I want, we'll say John Lennon. And I'll use another one of my emails. And we'll do George Harrison. Still third one, whoops. Longest one of the bunch. And that's all the ones. So we expect to have 3 of these. And then what we'll want, what my plan is to go ahead and first time we just have the existing functionality, we'll write this first date, last notified, and then we'll write the manager date notified. And once it's basically 7 days past that first date, we'll write both of those dates in there so that we don't have to change it too much. So we really won't be using that manager date notified that much, but we'll just write it just so that we have the record. So let's go over to Power Automate. It's one I did last time. You see I turned it off because I didn't want to keep getting reminders about this. So I'm going to turn it back on first so that it'll work. And what we had, we did it on occurrence, and we had all these email or all these variables. And I'm just going to add another variable, which I think we'll need. So I'm just going to call it var send manager email. And I'm going to be sure to initialize it when I use it. And actually, I like to rename this too. So we'll oops. I just like that so we can look right in it and don't have to expand it to see what we're doing. And what we did is we got the items. That's that OData query. Oops. I always try to zoom with the wrong keys, I guess. Anyway, that's where we're looking for that particular title, and we're looking for a status of incomplete. And then we loop through, grab the last notification date. If the last notification date is blank, then we go ahead and say we're going to send the email. And if not, then we start counting it, and we're checking if it's 7 or more days since notified. So that looks good. So we really don't need to do anything over here, because if the last notification date is blank, then the manager last notification date is blank as well. So don't need to do anything. But now we say, okay, check if 7 more days since are notified. So we're going to send an email, but this is where we can use that other variable. So if it's been more than 7 days, we're going to update the var send manager email as well. So we'll say var send manager email is true. And I like to rename that. Okay. Let's look on the other side. If it's not, then we say var send email is false. So we don't need to worry about that. And then we come down here and say, okay, if var send email is true, and we're basically have both those. So now what we need to do is if yes, we need to do some logic in here. We need to say, okay, this is basically the setup when it's the first time, and we're just going to add another branch. So one thing that's interesting, notice I can't add above it, so I'm just going to add here, and I'll do a condition. But what I'm going to do is, let's see if I can collapse that for a second, and I'll drag it. It can be a little challenging to get this to drag. There we go. Let's do it that way. And so I'll rename first. And I'll say check if send to manager. So we can say if var send manager email is true. And then if we, whoops, I don't want to hit that return there. If not, then we want to move this over here and that as well. Oops, there we go. Because what we have over here is we're going to send it, say it's incomplete, and then we're going to update the item. And we're going to need a version of those, but a little bit different. So if it's send email is, now we're going to send it to the manager. So we'll do Outlook. Send an email. But notice now what we're going to do is we're going to send it to the manager's email. So let's go to manager email. And then we need to show some advanced options here because we want to copy the individual. So that'll be the email like that. And then we want to say, let's go look over at this one. But we said a training is incomplete. So let's copy that because we want version of that. Oops. See if I can copy the whole line. There we go. But now we need to tell it who the person. So we'll say for first, whoops, put it in the wrong spot, didn't it? Seemed like I lost where it was. There we go. I need to put a space there now, but well, maybe it was there. It's kind of hard to tell. But I'll put last name. There we go. For course, whatever. Okay. And then we'll come over here and remember how I put some HTML in there a little bit to make it work a little better. But now it's going to be not dear first name, it's going to be manager first name. And I'll say the status for course blah blah blah. I'll say is incomplete for, put the first name. Come on, I can be a little squirrely getting it to put it in the right spot. There we go. Space, last name, and I have an extra space. Please get with this individual complete training as soon as possible. Thanks, management. So get the idea. We talked about a little bit that you can do a org box or whatever if you have another from email, but that looks pretty good. We'll test it shortly. And then we're going to need to update the item. So we'll go to SharePoint. And we'll just say update item. And we'll compare it to the one over here, but we should be able to find it. Should be my sample site. There it is. And I called it training something, training status. And then we want to get the ID from the get items that we're looping. And then we're not changing I don't even actually remember what we did there. So I'll just leave that alone. Let's see. Yeah, I just leave it blank so we don't try to change anything. But what's most important then, so we need to change the, and let me look. I don't remember if I put format, how exactly I did the date. Oh yeah, I just put UTC now in there. Okay, so we'll go ahead and copy at least that one. But we'll say for notes, We'll do that one first. So we'll say to, oops, if I could type, to manager and individual. And I could have pinned these and so forth, but we'll just, actually that'd be kind of nice. Let's see. Well, let me think if I can pin that. Oh, let's try it. It could be kind of fun. Let's see if we can get this to a pinned. I might be able to grab the notes from the previous one. Come on. There it was. Like that. Now let's try it. Then it'll get like a running list of the ones that we want. So let's, the other one is the first time, so we'll leave it alone. That should be the first time, and then every other one is going that way. And then this one for date last notified, actually we just copy that because I need it a couple times. That we did last time, that's the expression, the UTC now expression. There we go, and we'll put that in the manager's one as well. So we'll see. Doing this on the fly, I think this will work. So let's save it. And then we'll test it, and that'll keep us from having to wait for a week. I want to say test. Be really careful on these if you're sending it to real people. I've had that happen where you got some sort of problem and it ends up sending unwanted emails. So this one, they're all going to me. So I've got my email over here open. We'll see if it comes through. It says it ran successfully, but let's let it finish loading. Looks like it went through. So what I'm expecting, let's go over to the samples. Oh, let's hope this all saved. I kind of left it in this grid view. So we'll see if maybe the last one maybe. Oh, it looks like it's saved. So let's see if it uploads anything. What we're looking for is, did it write that date yet? So let's go look at the run history. It said it did it. Let's see. So we got the 3 that we expect. Let's see if we went through here. Oh, so it didn't actually work. It says check if var send email. At least for the first one, it didn't send it. That would explain it. So all 3 of these are false. So that's not exactly what we expected. So let's see where it went in. Last notification date is blank, so you would expect that to be false. So went in here. Oh, well, maybe it's not more than 7 days. I thought from my notes that it would be, let's see, let's do the math here. Oh yeah, look at it. We did that on the 29th, and today's the 4th. So technically we didn't have enough days. So I guess we tested the negative case. It didn't do anything because it hasn't been 7 days since that. So let's go and edit this and let's make it a week earlier. We'll just say that we did all these on the, oh, here I can do it the 20. I can do it from there. So I'll just say it here. All right. And we'll exit grid view. Make sure those dates all took. All right, let's try it again. Go into edit mode and test. run flow. All right, let's look this one. Var send emails true. Send email to manager. All right, that's more like it. Let's go see if it's updated yet. Hasn't done it yet, even though I'm actually getting some messages over on the email side. Let me pull those up here. Make it a little smaller. Well, there you can see. Oh, it didn't send it as HTML. That's a bit funky. So we'll go in and fix that. But it said to George, and it sent it, to one of my emails there. So, and notice I got a little space problem there for the user. Remember where it was a little hard, so I needed to fix that. But it says it's for James McMurtry. And then I get another one for Amy Ray to John, presumably John Lennon. And then my other one hasn't come up, but let's refresh over here. Oh yeah, notice the manager date notified did get updated. Yeah, so now both dates are there, kind of in the background. Notice how it put the 4th in. So really, with just a little bit of cleanup, we're pretty close. But let's go see if we can clean it up one more time. Let's just fix the email. So that'll be this email. Yeah, so there's not really a space in here. See if I can move the mouse, get it. Yeah, there we go. Come on. Press the space bar. Oh, there we go. It just was a little slow. So the other one, let's see if it, not sure why that HTML didn't work in there. I was looking for a email, an HTML email option or something, but it doesn't seem to do that. So let me pause for a minute, see if I can see it. Yeah, it looks like when it copied it over, it just didn't really like those tags. So what we'd want to do here is get rid of all these special, paragraph tags and so forth. And we'll just put hard returns in, and then it should put the formatting in it for us. So let's do that and then get rid of this junk here. Press return. So I think the original emails were still okay, but when I copied those tags, it didn't really understand that it was, whether it's plain text or it's trying to put HTML in there. Come on. A little bit of a delay here. Come on. There we go. I'll just delete it that way. But looks like that logic did work. So let's save that. I'm going to have to go back and let's set these dates back one more time. There we go. We'll go back to just do some other date, as long as it's more than a week old. And you see it was James, Amy, and Emily. Oh, that way. Yeah, I didn't bring up the Emily one, but it's there now. Now it does look, yeah, let me exit out of that. It does look like I'm actually getting 2 copies of the email. So let's go back and check our flow one more time. Make sure I'm not sending this twice. Doesn't look like it, so I'm checking if the send email is true. Only go there. Maybe I just fired it off a couple times or something, when I'm doing testing. So hopefully we're all right. I'll test it again. Let me delete these emails so I'm sure that I'm not getting the, two sets of them. All right, so let's test it. We're really just looking to see if we got fixed the formatting a little bit. Oh, I'm getting them pretty quickly. There's one there. That looks better. Dear John, status is incomplete. There's another one. Dear George, got rid of that space there. And there's my third one. Oh, these are actually the same. Oh yeah, I am. So somehow I won't try to figure this out for this one, but I am getting two sets of training in there. So if you see it, two sets of status emails. So if you see where the error was, I don't want to take up time in this email, so I'd have to check it out to see why I'm getting two of them. So somewhere in there I'm doing twice, but you can see we got pretty close. Let's finish it off by going back to our list, and we can refresh, make sure it reloaded with the new stuff. So yeah, there we go. And it did look like it put the things over and over, so that was good, that where we did a running notes of everything that we've done. So that was a nice enhancement as well. All right, well, appreciate your patience. I will look forward to seeing you in a future video, and have a great day. Hey, Jeff Rhodes back again. Just after I clicked stop on the previous recording, I realized why it looked like I was getting multiple emails. So going back, if you look at the my emails that I was sending, is I'm copying various versions of my own email, and they're all going into one box. So every single one of these, so I had 3 emails, and each of them are copying myself because I'm copying the individual and the manager. So it's just more my confusion that would exactly explain it. So I should get 2 emails. One is the primary and one is being copied every time. So that's what was going on. If I move over to some of those training emails, I was sending it to one email address as the primary and another one of my emails as the copy. So looks like everything was working. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll see you next time.